Hi everybody, I'm just going through your lesson from the other day. I'm going to look at the AO2 element of your exam, and everything that's in the video is available to you. It's either on Teams or it's been sent in email to you depending on which class you were in. All the texts are available to you and the annotations are also available to you on screen and there for you. So this is taken from the PowerPoint, so you can follow all of that there. So what we're going to look at right now is AO2. I will do a different video for AO1 because it deals with a different text. So let's go. What is AO2? Well, AO2 asks you to explain how writers use structure and language and write about the effects created. This particular lesson is going to look at the structure element of it. You will touch on language, but we're going to look at them separately. Okay, so what is structure? Well, the structure of the text are the important ideas that hold the story together. Now, you should be able to follow the structure of a story like a line on a map. In a book, it's a bit more complicated. You're dealing with a lot more ideas, but you're doing unseen short text in the exam, so the structure should be easier to spot because it's over a page or so. So if you think about the structure of a story like a line on a map, what I mean by that is if we go back to the simple example of the cat on the mat, if we had a story and it was about a cat on the mat going to the door, then if we read that story, we should see all the things that happen to the cat between the mat and the door. And we should be able to follow those different things like a line on the map. So if we then apply that to your kind of 19th century text, a little bit more complicated, well, how do we find the structure of them? Well, one way that you can do that is by working out the main ideas and what they show readers. So we're going to do two tasks that look at that, what the main ideas and what they show readers. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through the extract in the anthology, which is the Jane Eyre Charlotte Bronte one, the long text one. And it's where Jane Eyre reflects on her life at Lowood now that her friend Miss Temple has left the school. And what I want you to do is I want to read through and go through each paragraph and identify the main ideas in each paragraph. Now, if you can go through a text and identify the main ideas, that means you understand the different elements of the story. And if you understand the different elements of the story, then you understand what the structure is. That's the line on the map. That's what's happening in the story. To break that down, a helpful method to understand the main ideas in kind of, smaller elements is to think about in each paragraph what is shown, who is shown, and what stands out in your mind and why it stands out in your mind. Now we're going to work through one paragraph from the Jane Eyre text, and I hope that you then apply that to the other paragraphs and you can build your answers as you go. So I've applied this method of what, who, and what stands out in this text here that I've got for you. Just one second. So if we look at the first one, my number one I put is who. So who is in the text? Well, sorry, just going to my annotation tool up the top here. If we go to, so if we say to one, who is shown in the text? Well, we've got an I is shown in the text. So an I is shown in the text. Sorry, Saturday typing. Okay. And then my number two is what? Well, what is shown in the text? Well, if we go to the things that I've underlined for you, you can see that we've got imagined, regretted, and repair. So if we think about number two, what is shown in the text? We've got these emotions, yeah? So we've got this I in the text experiencing these emotions, okay? And the three, if we think about what stands out, well, what stood out for me is these different things down here that I've identified, is that we've got the afternoon had gone and the evening had advanced. So that suggests to me that if the afternoon has gone and the evening had advanced, it sounds to me that time is passing. Time passes very quickly, I feel. And that during that time, the writer has gone through, gone through a transforming process. Sorry, the narrator has gone through a transforming process. She's gone through a transformation. So if we think about what is going on in the text and who is in the text and what stands out, for me, the narrator in the text, the I, is going through some emotions, and that time is passing quickly. And during that time, she's transformed. So if we go to back to our tasks just for a second, and I do believe I have to do a erasing of annotation for some reason. If we just go back, sorry, I beg your pardon, to our tasks. If we think about the 1, 2, and 3, in task 3, you can build on these answers. Who is in the text, what is in the text, and what stands out in your mind. And we can look at, explain how these ideas are structured in the text. So a method for doing this is by taking the answers from your paragraphs, who is in the text, the I, what is happening, the emotions, and what stands out. The time is passing quickly, and they seem to have gone in through a transformation. If you take the answers from your paragraphs and explain what the main idea is, why it is important, and what it shows the reader. We're now going to do that. So we're going to take our answers from task 1, and we're going to explain what it shows the reader. So I've got the text here for you, okay? I put it on the whiteboard. And so the question that we're looking at here is, how are the ideas structured in the text? Well, we know if we just put the notes there, we've got the who is I. Sorry, I keep doing one, let's just type in. Who is I, and what is emotions, yeah? And the what stood out was that time passed quickly. Sorry, typing, and that she'd gone through a kind of a transformation or change. Yeah. So those are our notes. Now, if we're looking at those notes from before, now remember, I've done this quite quickly. Now, the reason I've done it quickly is that I want you to be able to think that you just need to keep the ideas very simple, because your analysis is going to come much more on how, all right? And the more that you can think about how after you've found the main ideas, the better in a way, because you won't get so lost, I feel. So what I've done here is you can see that I've split the paragraph up, and I think this shows us a different thing. So in the first bit, we get the character walking around the chamber and imagining regret and loss and how to repair it. So I think this is what the writer represents first. This is the emotions that the writer represents. And then we get this change in she reflects and concludes. So she's going through something. And then she finds she's looked up and found that the afternoon was gone and the evening far advanced. And she discovers that she's gone through this process. And then at the end, in this third bit, we get the introduction of this other character, Miss Temple, and that somehow her disappearance has taken this serene atmosphere. Serene means kind of calm. And she's now starting to feel old emotions. So we get this first experience here of thought about regret and loss, and then a kind of reflection of the transformation. And then the third thing is the reason why. Now, my engagement with it might be slightly different to yours, meaning the way that I'm saying it. But if we say, well, how are the ideas structured in the text? And I'm expanding on these while I've just been talking to you. You could say the narrator, or the writer, it doesn't matter at this point. Narrator is shown, sorry, it's Saturday typing, is shown as experiencing different emotions of loss and regret whilst in the chamber. And then you could say, well, what happens next? And you could say, the character shows us their reflections and that they have gone through a change. Sorry, I just need to move this up. Let's have a look at it. The narrator is shown as experiencing different emotions of loss and regret while in the chamber. The character shows us their reflections they have gone through a change. And then in the final part of the paragraph, we get the loss of her friend, Miss Temple, causes her to feel old emotions that she has not felt for some time. Okay, so this is us building on these ideas of who, the I, the emotions, and time passing quickly. So if we put it all together, the narrator is shown as experiencing different emotions of loss and regret. We get that there in the first bit. The character shows us that, their reflections that they have gone through a change. And in the last bit, the loss of her friend causes her to feel old emotions she has not felt for some time. So hopefully today that's helped you see how to identify the ideas in a text, and it might take you some time to start writing about them. I beg your pardon, sorry, that's just me moving that. But what I'm trying to do is just model for you how you can start writing about these ideas. And my advice is to get it down in whichever way it is in your mind. Don't be trying to emulate me. But if you can get these 4 ideas down here, these ideas of what or who and what stands out, you can then write why. And that's what we've tried to do there. Okay, I hope you're having a good weekend, and I will see you all next week. Take care, bye.